Hello, my friend. I am so excited to dive into this week's podcast episode for you on this month's astrology. It is juicy. It is going to be a very eventful week as well as month. So get ready, get set. And this is because we have the astrological new year starting at the end of March. So I am super excited for this. In this episode, I will be going through March's astrology, the major events happening this month, but I will also be going through the transits of this week and what to expect from this week. I will then share a bit of a reflection on Aries season and what to know for Aries season and how to be prepared. So this one's going to be super fun. And finally, I will end off this podcast episode for you with a tarot reading of what energy to embrace, what energy to let go of. So let's just dive right into this. Let's start off with a March overview. So first off, all planets are direct in March. Now this is very important to note. This means that there are no retrograde planets this month, so we will be feeling this forward momentum this month. We won't have any retrograde planets till April, so this is going to be exciting. This is going to be a very exciting Pisces season, end of Pisces season, but then also start of Aries season. Now the first thing to note is we have a new moon in Pisces happening on March 10th. We then have Mercury entering Aries on the same day. Venus then enters Pisces on March 11th. We then kick off the astrological new year with the start of Aries season on March 20th. Then on March 22nd, Mars enters Pisces. We then end off the month with a full moon in Libra, which is actually a lunar eclipse in Libra. So this is super important to note because we will be starting eclipse season this month. And for those who don't know, eclipses bring in fated events. Eclipses really speed up time. We will be going through a lot of reflection during eclipse season. A lot from the past can come back up, but we are kind of reassessing things in a way where we're starting to see who are the major players in our lives, what direction is our life going towards. Eclipses can be very intense. Eclipses can be very intense. So I want to note this. This isn't to scare anyone. This is the energy of, this is just really embracing the chaoticness of the season. So I'll be going through this much more in depth during March. So stay tuned for that episode because it's going to be really juicy, really good, all about eclipse season. Now I do want to talk a little bit about the astrological new year. And if you felt like this year didn't really feel like things have changed that much for you, you felt as though it's kind of a repeat of last year, maybe there are some new characters, but you haven't had the amount of progress as you would like, well, things are going to get kicked up a lot during Aries season on March 20th. So this is when you're really going to feel the new year. This is when you're going to feel this exciting, passionate, driven energy. And this is because Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It is a fire sign. Aries really starts off a powerful season. So get excited for that. I am super excited for that. Now, let's dive into the transits of this week. What to expect right before March hits. So starting off with February 25th, Venus in Aquarius is squared to Jupiter in Taurus. Now this transit is quite interesting. I would say that we could be feeling as though we want to spend a lot more money during this time. This transit is going to really help us reflect more on our values. We could really want to go big or go home with this energy. You could be really seeing a lot of people during this time, or perhaps you are really trying to connect with a lot more connections. Or perhaps you're just really trying to figure out your finances and kind of just feel like you're in an abundance mindset. So I will caution you to just check your records, check your finances, make sure you don't go too hard. Some people could potentially overdrink with this energy or just overdo it in terms of partying. So be cautious of this on the 25th. Then on February 27th, Mars in Aquarius is square to Jupiter in Taurus. So this energy, I would be a bit more cautious in terms of your anger. A lot of people around us could get a bit more finicky. People could really express their frustration during this time. So release your anger in healthy ways with this energy. I would say to dance, scream into a pillow, do something that moves your body, do a workout, go for a run, do something that really helps you release that energy. People could just be on edge this day. So take note of this, be cautious, try not to take it personally, and really try not to be reactive during this day. Then on February 28th, Mercury is conjunct Saturn in Pisces. We then have the Sun conjunct Mercury in Pisces, so a Mercury Cazimi. We also then have the Sun conjunct Saturn in Pisces. What does this mean? So this is us really having some difficult conversations. We could be really thinking about our long-term future in a new light. There is this energy of bringing clarity to an issue, especially around our systems and structures. We could be in a place where we could feel like there is something that we have to discuss with someone. There is something that we need to have a conversation about. Now, usually this could feel a little bit cold or a bit harsh. This is something to keep in mind. However, what is really, really lovely is the next day, Mercury in Pisces is sextile to Jupiter in Taurus. So the Sun is in a sextile to Jupiter, still in this lovely, lovely placement. So we still have this support of Jupiter. So even if we're having some difficult conversations with someone, in the sign of Pisces, this is a bit more compassionate. This is a bit more empathetic. This is, yes, some serious conversations, but it can also be very helpful and very expansive. Like we're feeling a lot more optimistic about these conversations because it's going to help us with our growth. So this is actually really, really beneficial. It can feel a bit hard, but it will be worth it. It definitely, definitely will be worth it. So keep this in mind for this week. We're going to really feel like we have to get serious about our creative pursuits during this time or emotional connection. This could also look like a spiritual pursuit or a spiritual practice. This could also look like how we are relating to what's happening overseas. This could also look like us really understanding, okay, how can I get more serious about my mental health? How can I have the proper systems and structures in place for me to take care of myself and understand what is best for me moving forward. So keep this in mind. This is going to be a very interesting week. I'm really looking forward to March's astrology. I'm really looking forward to this week ahead. I'm hoping that full moon in Virgo was healing for you. I hope it was this really cathartic release. With full moons, we don't really see everything come into fruition until 2 weeks fully afterwards. So we're still kind of seeing that story unfold. So keep this in mind. Then on March 1st, this is when we have the exact sextile from the Sun in Pisces to Jupiter in Taurus. So this is very uplifting. We could just feel more optimistic. We can feel like we have more self-belief in ourselves. And this is very powerful. We could just be in a better mood altogether. We could want to just put ourselves out there a lot more so in creative pursuits, in our own self-expression, in how we are seen. So great to keep in mind. On the same day, on March 1st, Venus in Aquarius is sextile to Chiron in Aries, as well as the North Node in Aries. So this is a deeply, deeply healing day. Honestly, we end off this week with a lot of healing energy when it comes to our friendships, our community. We could feel as though we are seeing our wounds around our sense of worthiness in a new light, because maybe we get included in a group chat or we go to an event and we're able to kind of just share what we've been going through and what we believe in ourselves, and we just feel more seen by other people. This is just an example, but I really feel like March 1st is going to be a very uplifting and healing day. Yes, things can still feel a little bit sore. May this be through sharing something about a past event or something that hurt you. However, this is going to help us really move forward. This energy is going to really help us see, okay, how can I show more love and affection towards my community, towards my friendships? How can I uplift those around me? How can I be my own cheerleader with the Sun in Pisces sextile to Jupiter in Taurus? So I'm really loving this day. Then on March 3rd, Venus in Aquarius is square to Uranus in Taurus. So this is when things can get a bit surprising, things can get a bit shocking, an unexpected expense can come up right now, or even a surprise. This could also look like you bump into someone at a party that was very unexpected that you know. This could be a number of things where you feel like there's something you need to change up when it comes to your friendships or community, or there's this mashup. Like, I kind of am seeing this image of this is your life, and you get like all these people from different stages of your life together, and you're just reflecting on this. So, this is just one example. So, this energy can feel a little bit uncomfortable. There is some tension with our relationships and finances, yet we can get a breakthrough with this energy. Maybe you think of a new way to make money, maybe you think of a new way to meet people, or this could just be randomly bumping into someone and getting asked out by someone. It could be very awkward, it could be very uncomfortable, but it's a nice surprise. So keep this in mind for March 3rd. Some unexpected things can happen during this date. So let me know what ends up happening for you. I'm super, super curious. All right, so before I dive into my reflection for Aries season, that I think would really, really help you take that next step, take that leap, take that jump, I do want to mention I have just one spot available for a birth chart reading this month. So if you want to dive deeper into your career patterns, your relationship patterns, your blind spots, your challenges, your strengths, then check that out. After this, I won't have any readings till June. So this is the best time to book if you'd like a spot. So I'll leave a link to that down below. All right, so when I was thinking about Aries season and what you really, really should keep in mind for Aries season, I was reflecting on this story, and it brought me back to when I first launched my astrology practice. This was 2021, and I had so much resistance to launching my practice. I had so much fear. I really didn't think I was ready to launch my practice. I really felt scared of people judging me. During this time, I no longer was teaching. Before this, I was teaching as a professor at a university in Toronto, and this was the first year that I was no longer teaching at that university. So I didn't know what I was going to do. We were in the pandemic. I was super, super nervous of launching my practice, and I was doing everything but offering readings to people. The funny thing is, I already had launched my community before I launched my birth chart readings, so I was still giving readings all the time, yet I wasn't really offering them publicly. It was kind of more of this secret. Like, I really felt like I was stuck. I was so afraid. I didn't know what to do. I just didn't feel ready. And then a lot happened for me to change my mind. I basically had a mentor at that time. She was just like, "Why aren't you doing this?" And for me, I didn't feel ready. I didn't feel good enough. And she was really encouraging me to just launch, to just put myself out there, to put my work out there and just start. Because I already had years of studying. I was studying with that mentor. I was reading a lot of books. I took a lot of courses, and I knew I was ready, but I was just so, so afraid. And the thing is, I realized I never would have been ready. And I say this because sometimes we wait and we hold off on something that we know we should do because we think we need to be ready for something. But oftentimes, we aren't ready for growth. Growth is uncomfortable. Growth will always be uncomfortable. We keep thinking like if we just wait a bit longer, then we'll feel a bit more better about the situation. Yet oftentimes we kind of just have to reach a breaking point. Now, when I reflect back on that time period, I had reached a breaking point. I was so lost. I was going through an identity crisis because to call myself an astrologer, I really, really felt like I had imposter syndrome. Yes, I was studying for so long, but I was like, oh my gosh, if I do this, does that mean I have to let go of my title of being a brand strategist, of being a graphic designer, of all my past titles? And no, of course not. But at that time, I really thought I had to step into this new role and let go of my previous roles. To be fair, I did go through this major, major identity shift and I needed enough self-belief to get to that stage. Like, I needed to read enough birth charts for practice for me to launch my practice. I needed to really understand that, okay, this is something I love doing. This is something I just need to try out. I can change things. Oftentimes, we're so afraid of failing. We're so afraid of falling flat on our face because we're afraid people will judge us. We're afraid of things not going a certain way. However, this is your reminder that you never truly fail. You never truly fail. You just learn how to do things differently. You just learn a lesson and it helps you grow. It helps you get to the next stage in life. And I honestly don't know what my breaking point exactly was, but I think I was trying so hard to love designing again. And my background is in graphic design, my master's is in digital media. So I had all this experience in graphic design, and I still do love design. However, at that time, I knew it wasn't something that I wanted to do long term. I knew it was only something I wanted for myself. I was already bored. I was doing it for years and I love art. I love appreciating design. However, I realized I loved making content a lot more. I loved expressing myself through video. I loved really pushing myself and learning and making courses and doing things that were quite different than traditional graphic design. So when I launched my astrology practice, I was at this point of, I just need to do this. I need to try this because I can't keep pretending that I'm fully satisfied with just doing graphic design. I have to honor myself and really put myself out there. And if people judge me, that's okay. I had to remind myself that I'm safe. And that is when I decided to just put myself out there. And as soon as I did, 10 people booked a reading with me that same day. And that was such a confirmation from the universe that this was something I was supposed to do. The way I launched, yes, I had the strategy in place, but I never would have expected it to go that well. Like, for 10 people to book with me that quickly, I was like, oh my goodness, no, this is something I need to do. And it was definitely a learning experience, but I was so grateful for that experience. And I want to pull it back to that conversation I had with my mentor, because personally, I don't know if I would have launched if I didn't have a mentor at that time. And this is why I constantly invest in mentors and coaches, because I honestly needed that encouragement and that push to take myself to the next level. So I was thinking about this and reflecting, and I thought of this metaphor. So let's say that you have a feather at the back of your head in your hair, and you do not see this feather. It's this white feather, but you're walking around, it's been a few hours, maybe you're out on the town, and you do not see this feather at all. Then you meet up with a friend and you see them and they pull this feather out of your hair and they show it to you. And you start to see, okay, I didn't even know that was there. This is kind of like our blind spots, right? Because that was quite literally a physical blind spot for you. Oftentimes, our blind spots are our mental blind spots of self-belief, of not believing that we're good enough, of not believing that we are worthy of what we desire, of not believing in ourselves, of not believing that we are enough, that we have the experience, that we can do this. And this is why we need another person there, because yes, you can be super confident on your own. Yes, you can do all the work by yourself, but we all need other people. Every human needs another person, and relationships help us grow. If you believe relationships help you grow, then understanding that a mentor can be life-changing for you is something to keep in mind. Because for me, what I've realized is there were periods of my business where I had a mentor or a coach, and then there were periods where I didn't. And I realized I kept myself stuck when I didn't have a mentor or coach because I thought I was making progress. And yes, I was maybe a little bit, but that progress sped up at least 2 times faster when I had a mentor or coach because I had something to bring them. I had something to talk to them about. And then they would give me feedback, and that would allow me to see, oh my goodness, I didn't see it that way. Oh my goodness, I didn't see that perspective. And that's when I really was able to go to the next level in my business. That's when my business started to really, really grow. So I had quite a few astrology mentors. I had 3 in total. And then I also had about 4 coaches. So I'm currently on my 4th coach, and it's been really, really interesting for me to reflect on this because I've started to realize, okay, I think I just always need this other person to help me see things in a different perspective. Now, where people go wrong with this is it can be a dangerous trap. So I would say that you don't always have to take your coach's advice. You don't always have to take your mentor's advice. Please note this because everyone has their own limiting beliefs. Everyone has a different birth chart. Everyone energetically is different. So you have to still figure out what is best for you personally. However, having another person there can really help you understand, okay, wow, this is something that I really needed to do for myself. Or, oh my goodness, this is where I was stuck, and this is why I haven't progressed forward in my business, in my career, in my relationships. So I really wish that I knew that I needed that extra support when I started my business, because I would have been able to grow my business a lot faster, a lot sooner, in a much smoother way. And I feel like I could have saved myself a lot of grief. So I hope this helps in any way. And if you are looking for a mentor, I do have one spot available for my Boldest You mentorship. So this is honestly one of my most life-changing mentorships. This is support with me one-on-one for 6 months or 12 months, depending on your choice. And this is for you if you just want to use astrology to your benefit to grow your spiritual business and really just get to the next level in your business. May that be through growing your community, may that be through getting more paid opportunities from brands. So this could look like different things, but this is really for you if you know you need that accountability and you already know that investing in yourself is going to help you so much long term. There is an application form for this, so keep that in mind. So I'll leave a link to that down below if you're interested. All right, so let's dive into your tarot reading for this month. So the first card out is the Five of Pentacles. So this card is showing me that there may have been something that you were disappointed about. Maybe you felt as though you wanted something to change in your life so desperately, and you didn't feel like you were making progress. This feels like maybe you were feeling a bit isolated, maybe left out in the cold by someone. Now, what's really important to note with this card is that there is this church in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith deck, and there's this light. So the people out front are not in the best state. They are cold, they feel isolated. However, there's still this option to get into that church. There's still this option of trying to get into a warmer, cozier space. I always see this card as you have more power than you think. You have more capabilities than you think. You are more capable than you think. So this is good to keep in mind. The next card out is the Four of Pentacles reverse. So if you had felt as though you had to be a bit more stingy with your money, if you felt like you had to protect yourself, or you just felt as though you didn't feel as safe as you would like to, you just felt like you didn't feel as safe about your finances or about your sense of security, this card is a confirmation that you're letting this go now, that that time period is gone, and you're coming into a better place where you're recognizing, no, you actually have much more than you think. No, you are worthy of more. You are worthy of more money, of more abundance, of more love, of more opportunities. So this is a really great sign. This is just us releasing this protection that we've been keeping on ourselves and allowing ourselves to really see, actually, no, I don't need this protection. I'm already safe. I'm already protected. I can open myself up to receive more. So this is really, really great to keep in mind. The next card out is the Queen of Swords. So this month, we're getting quite serious. We might be having some maybe colder conversations about our boundaries this month, of what is in alignment for you, what isn't. I kind of see this as us looking to the future and really planning out our next steps. So because it's the astrological new year, there might be some things that you will be reflecting on as to, okay, what has changed already in the last few months, and how can I rewrite my yearly plan right now for the astrological new year. I'm really hearing that message. I really see this card as us not being afraid to stand up for ourselves, not being afraid to have those difficult conversations, and really seeing our own power in this, and knowing that boundaries can be very loving, boundaries can be very supportive, and they are often very, very needed. Our advice card is the Eight of Swords. So there's something that you're not seeing right now. There's something that is still hidden from you that you're trying to ignore, and you could kind of feel as though you already know this, but there's just something where you're just recognizing that you've been pushing this back so much that now is the time to really face it. Now is the time to really realize, okay, no, I have to see this now. So you could be overthinking a situation. You could have felt very anxious about something. So this is the time to really release your anxiety and do something for yourself, do something for your body. May this be taking a walk, doing some breath work, journaling, meditating. Really release and dump your thoughts, because that is really, really needed for you right now. Our next advice card is the Sun card. So really embrace your joy this season. Really embrace what you loved as a kid. How can you bring back that childhood joy you had as a kid? And what can you do to tap into that energy? This card is really inspiring us to take that creative leap, take that jump, and really see your own personal power, really see your own strength, but also just the magic you have within your authentic self. How beautiful that is. Knowing that it's safe to be seen, knowing that being seen is going to take you to the next stage. I'm really hearing that message. The more you allow yourself to be seen for who you authentically are, the more you can progress, the more fulfilled you're going to feel, the more you're going to just feel like you have more meaning. May this be through helping other people by you being seen for who you authentically are. The more you step into your authentic self, the more you are able to help heal other people by showing them that it's safe for them to be their authentic selves, by showing them that this is possible for them, right? Your success helps everyone. I'm really hearing that message. Your success helps everyone because it can inspire everyone. So I love this message for March's astrology. Oh my goodness, this is so exciting. Now, lastly, we have our oracle cards, and one of them is deep intuition. So really listen to what you're being called to do right now. Really listen to what your intuition is trying to tell you. You're so much more intuitive than you think. Make sure you're making space to really deeply reflect, to really sit in silence and really understand what your body is trying to tell you. The next oracle card is rest. So the end of Pisces season can be very draining. It can be like this purge of energy. We could just feel like we're just pouring everything out of us. So right before March 20th, the week before, we're just going to feel so emotionally drained. Keep this in mind. Make sure you're scheduling in a lot of rest. That's going to be so, so important right now. The last oracle card is be gentle with yourself. So this is a reminder to really speak kindly to yourself, to really make sure you are giving yourself love and compassion. That's so, so, so needed. Know that you do not need to be perfect to be loved. Know that it's okay to be human. I think we all need that reminder. It's okay to be human. So I really hope this helped, friend. I really hope it helped. If you'd like a private reading with me, check out the link for that down below and grab the last spot for this month. If you want help in growing your spiritual business, then check out my Boldest You mentorship program down below. I only have one spot left for that as well, so keep that in mind. And if you're listening to this before February 29th, then check out my Jupiter course, Maximize Your Magnetism, Activating Your Jupiter Sign for Opportunities and Growth in Your Relationships and Career. I'll be having a live Q&A for this course on February 29th, and it's going to be so good. Honestly, this course was such a passion project of mine. It's something that I've seen such amazing results from my students who have taken the course. So go check that out. I'll leave a link to that down below. And happy end of February, friend. Happy March. Thank you so much for listening. I'm sending you so much love. Take care.